With emotions blindness, sometimes it's hard for these guys to empathize. It's not that they don't want to empathize, and it's not that they don't have empathy. They rarely have displayed empathy, but so let's make that distinction. So with emotions blindness, it's really hard to empathize. You get a pass on that to a degree from me. Maybe not from her, but let's make the distinction between, at least in my opinion, between empathy and compassion. Empathy is, I understand exactly how you're feeling. That's going to be a hard one for you. Compassion is, I may not know necessarily how you are feeling or why you're feeling that way, but you're important to me and I want to do whatever I can do to reduce your suffering. That's the difference between empathy and compassion. You may have a hard time empathizing, but you will not have a hard time unless you just choose not to really care. You won't have a hard time with compassion, which again is, I'm not sure why you're distraught. And even when you tell me why you're distraught, it doesn't seem to quite make logical sense to me. But if you say you're distraught, and I care about this marriage, and I'm going to employ compassion, which is, what can I do to reduce your suffering? So you don't get a pass on that one at all. You can be in the business of being compassionate without necessarily being full tilt, pedal to the metal in the business of empathy. But you didn't sign up for autism. It was imposed upon you by the universe. It's not your fault that you have it. You're wired differently. It causes a lot of fucking problems in a person's life when they have it. That doesn't give you an excuse to just go, okay, well, I just have it, and so now she's just going to have to deal. That's just one of these traits, and you're just going to have to learn to live with it. That's not what I'm saying. You are responsible for your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. But you did not precipitate this autism. You were one of the lucky ones that just happened to get it. So it's not your fault that you have it. And it's not your fault that you have this anxiety that makes you engage in all of these ridiculous anxiety reduction strategies that cause a problem in your relationship. You need to give yourself some self-compassion. Compassion is, tell me what I need to do that's within my power to do to reduce your suffering. Sign me up. I'm all in. Self-compassion now is you're going to turn that around and put it on you. So when you're feeling down, you're going to try to approach your feelings with curiosity and openness rather than chastising yourself for feeling a particular way. You're going to be more tolerant of your own flaws, if we want to call it a flaw, deficit, challenge, whatever term you want to use. You're going to try to be understanding and patient towards the certain traits of the disorder that you don't like. There's some traits that you have and they ain't going anywhere. So you're going to try to be understanding of the fact that these are the traits that came with the thing I have, and I'm going to be, more understanding and patient with myself when I exhibit those traits. You're going to be kind to yourself when you're experiencing suffering. And you also need to fully recognize, Rick, that this is a huge part of the human condition. There's not just a few dozen people that have Asperger's syndrome. We're talking millions and millions and millions. And we're only talking this within this generation. If we wanted to go back to Rex's dad and Rex's dad's dad, we could go back 4 or 5 generations and we would be talking perhaps billions of people who have had autism and never knew it. So the other thing is, you got to remember that you're not the only one that has this. This is more common than we know, because some people don't want to get a diagnosis, and some people don't even know that they are on the autism spectrum, so wouldn't even think about a diagnosis. So during when you are tempted, as you will be, to beat up on yourself, you're going to treat yourself with the same kindness and respect that you would with a cherished friend somewhere. I'm sure you have a friend, maybe it's your wife or somebody, where you wouldn't treat them the same way you treat you, would you? And then the other thing you need to remember is you're not alone. There's many others going through the same thing.